What if the next iPhone made your current one feel ancient? Not because it folds, not because it bends, but because it's so thin, it practically vanishes in your hand. We're talking about a phone so sleek, it could make the iPhone 6 look like a brick. And yet, somehow it still packs flagship power under the hood. But there's a twist. Actually, several. And some of them might just break Apple's usual playbook. Welcome back, legends. James here. If this kind of cutting-edge tech excites you even half as much as it does me, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next wave of wild leaks and bold designs. Let's get into it. Alright, the name alone has people talking iPhone 17 Air. It sounds futuristic because it is. But this isn't just a rebranded slim model. This thing is shaping up to be the thinnest iPhone Apple's ever made, possibly even thinner than the iPod Touch, around 5.4 millimeters. Yeah, that's not a typo. That's thinner than a pack of cards, and about a third slimmer than the iPhone 16 Pro. But here's the question, how do you fit modern iPhone-level performance into something that barely has any physical space? Well, that's where the leaks start getting wild. Apple's reportedly planning to include the A19 Pro chip inside this featherweight beast. That's the same chip expected in the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Let that sink in. Desktop-class performance inside a body so slim, it looks like it belongs in a museum of future tech. Sure, it might have one less GPU core than the Pro Max, but that's barely noticeable unless you're deep into gaming benchmarks. For everyday users, that's a huge win. But just when it sounds too good to be true, here comes the twist. One camera. Just one. Not three. One single rear sensor. And here's where opinions start splitting. But think about it. What if that one lens is Apple's best 48MP sensor, the same one in the Pro lineup? With their computational photography magic, one great lens might beat three average ones. Less hardware, more brains. Still, you can't help but wonder, why make it this thin? Why now? And the answer might lie in Apple's bigger plan. This isn't just about shaving off millimeters for bragging rights. It's about showing off what's possible with software, materials, and efficiency working together. This phone could be a flex, a statement piece. And it's not just thin, it's tough. Leaks point to Apple ditching aluminum and going for titanium, which is not only stronger but way more premium feeling. Titanium also helps keep the phone light without compromising on durability. Combine that with a 6.6-inch display, dynamic island, and a gorgeous new pill-shaped camera housing, and this thing is starting to look like a sculpture. And oh, the colors. If the leaks hold up, you'll get to choose between matte black, silver, light gold, and a sky blue that looks suspiciously close to the one we saw on the MacBook Air. It's soft, elegant, and honestly, might just be the color everyone goes for this year. Now let's talk battery, because here's where things get controversial. A 5.4-inch phone isn't leaving much room for a big cell, and rumors suggest a 2800 mAh battery. That's smaller than what we had on the iPhone 12, and that came out 5 years ago. But Apple's not going in blind. With iOS 26, we're hearing about new adaptive power modes built specifically to squeeze every drop out of smaller batteries, especially for the 17 Air. Still, you'll have to trade off a little endurance for that ridiculously slim form factor. It's a balance. Some will love it, some won't, but no one can ignore it. Here's another fun surprise, 12 GB of RAM. That's right, Apple might actually give the Air model the same memory as the Pro, which means smoother multitasking, better gaming, and more breathing room for apps. Even with all those background iOS processes, it feels like Apple's building an affordable Pro model in disguise. Even the physical layout is getting love. Aside from the dynamic island and titanium frame, we might also be seeing a new camera control button, separate from the action button. Think of it like a mini shutter built into the phone side, quick shots without needing to swipe, tap, or pray Face ID doesn't glitch. All of this while still targeting a $799 price tag. If Apple pulls this off, they could have a phone that looks pro, feels premium, performs like a beast, and still undercuts their top-tier pricing by a few $100. But that brings us back to the big question, is thin really worth it? If the battery life ends up just meh, if the single camera isn't quite enough for photography lovers, and if you're someone who watches a ton of content with just one speaker, will the beauty of the design outweigh those trade-offs? Personally, I think Apple's gambling on the wow factor here. They want people to pick this phone up and feel the future in their hands. And honestly, if the leaks are even half true, it might be one of the boldest designs we've ever seen from them. So what do you think? Would you go for a razor-thin iPhone if it meant giving up a bit of battery and camera flexibility? Or are you all in for the design, the titanium frame, and the sky blue finish? Let's talk down in the comments. I'm curious where everyone lands on this. If you're still watching, huge thanks. Like the video if you had fun, hit subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the curve, and share this with someone who thinks all iPhones are the same. Trust me, this one's different.